At yun na nga ng mga kabayan, sa pagpapatuloy nga ng press con ng NTFL kaugnay nga dito sa pagbaliktad ng dalawang miyembro ng NPA, ay kinumpirma nga ng AFP na itong dalawang to ay miyembro talaga ng NPA na humahawak ng baril at nakikipagbarilan sa mga AFP. Nakumpirma nga nila ito dahil sa mga larawan na kanilang nakuha base sa kanilang mga surveillance at kanilang mga intelligence. Hindi katulad ng sinasabi o iginigiit ni Raul Manuel na yung dalawa daw ay mga scholar at mga nag-aaral pa at pawang mga aktivista lamang na gusto daw mapaganda lang daw yung Manila Bay, kaya nagrarally at kumukontra nga sa mga reclamation doon. Dagdag pa ni Raul Manuel, yung dalawa nga daw ay hindi marunong humawak ng baril. Ngunit napatunayan nga nating nagsisinungaling itong si Raul Manuel nang ipakita nga ng AFP ang mga larawan kung saan hawak-hawak ni Junela ang isang Armalite na tinabagay nagpa-practice kasama ang kanyang mga kadre sa kabundukan. Dito pa lamang mga kabayan, talaga naman saksakan ng sinungaling itong si Raul na hindi na dapat paniwalaan mga kabayan. At bakit kasi nakapasok dito sa Kongreso? Kung hindi mo naman isa't kalahating tanga mga bumoto dito, alam na nga nilang NPA ang taong to, ngunit binoto pa rin. Diyos ko, Mario Joseph Kaindo, sana naman huling term na to ng mga miyembro ng mga bayan black, at hindi na dapat talaga maupo itong mga to dahil nasasayang lang ang pondo ng bayan na napupunta sa kanilang budget at ginagamit lang bilang pang-suporta sa mga makakaliwang grupo, di kaya ginagamit pang-recruit. At kung bago ka pa lang sa akin channel, huwag mo nga kalimutang i-hit ang like at subscribe button para updated ka sa mga uploads ko araw-araw, kabayan. Panoorin natin ang kabuuan ng video ito.
Sige po. On another question, just to follow up, or a different question po. Looking at Jed and Junila, they went through the same experience, whatever it is, the public has yet to fully know. Pero looking at both of them, they seem to have very contrasting demeanors. Si Jed po, medyo tahimik, she was timid, which is opposite of Junila na medyo courageous and outspoken. So parang it doesn't add up kasi parehas lang sila ng karanasan. So why do you think this is so, sir?
Oh well, Rafael, kagaya dun sa interview kanina, si Junila, nagbuo na siya, apat na taon na siya sa iba't ibang posisyon sa CPP, NPA, NDF. Nandun siya sa white area, nag-operate siya sa red area, then back to white area. Etong si Jed, siya yung nasa stage pa lang na nagsisimula pa lamang siya sa kanilang sa stage. It's tapos na yung recruitment, ginagamit na siya to organize and arouse and mobilize certain sectors of our society. So hindi natin inaasahan na yung behavior ni Jed would be as aggressive and as passionate as Junila, dahil malayo yung kanilang mga karanasan. In fact, it was also shared to us by Junila herself na may mga enkwentro na siya. One particular encounter, yung inadmit niya nakasama siya, meaning armed encounter to, barilan with our government forces. So the experiences, the teachings, and the different positions that they handled along the way probably is the reason for the difference in their behavior. Rafael.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, Rafael. Go ahead, Angel.
All right. Maraming salamat po. Now we call on Sir Barnaby Law from Al Jazeera. Sir, you have the floor.
Yeah. Good afternoon. I'd just like to reconcile a couple of points because I was able to speak with Jonila's mother, actually both her mother and father yesterday. And you mentioned that they were invited to the military camp to witness the statements of Junila and Jed, as Jed's parents were there. But they told me that they were not invited. They did not receive any call or text message. So
Sorry. Go ahead, Barnaby.
no, go ahead. There's just a certain disconnect there.
Well, the report to me is very clear, no, that they were invited just like the parents of Jed, no, who came over to meet their child. My understanding was that ang naging the schedule was set to after the press conference instead of them meeting Jonila prior to the press conference. But I am quite certain that the report was very clear, no, clearly relayed to me that they were able to get in touch with the parents of Jonila prior to the press conference.
So when you say that they were able to get in touch, they were able to speak with them on the phone.
With the father, yeah, not with the mother, but with the father. That's the report that I got, Barnaby.
Okay, just one more question. So my understanding is how you knew that they were part of the communist armed movement is because they presented themselves voluntarily to you. They surrendered themselves voluntarily. So my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is they weren't being surveilled. They weren't being targeted for arrest. And maybe you didn't even know that they were members of the communist, alleged members of the communist armed movement. But Jonila's mother also told me that before their, quote unquote disappearance, there were soldiers who were visiting their home. So, which is why she's been saying that she suspects that they were abducted, and that she believes the story of Jonila and Jed as narrated the other day.
Yeah, Barnaby, there are two different cases here. In the case of Jed Tamano, even before they were allegedly reported to be allegedly missing, the parents already got in touch with us, asking us to help out in finding their child, because she was communicating with them through phone from time to time, but she was not physically present for quite some time already in their house. So there are some efforts already. There are some attempts trying to ask around in their in her school, in the community, in the effort of trying to find ways to know where Jed was at that time. But in the case of Jonila, there were some rebel returnees already who may attest to the fact that she's one of them as an armed rebel.
Okay,
a member of the NPA, yeah.
Okay, so in short, you already knew of them.
Before the alleged missing, or before the abduction.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have prior information about them already.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barnaby. I don't see any raised hands, so I'll proceed with a question from Sir Jing Villamente of Daily Tribune. I guess this is addressed to Attorney James Clifford. Sir, ano daw po yung mga remedies ni Jed?
Angel, sorry to butt in. We have Brian from TV5 and Paula Antolin.
Yes, but I believe, sige po, they lowered their hands, but sige po, we'll check on, yes, opo. Unless they'll proceed po.
Hi po, magandang hapon. Can you hear me?
Ayan. Okay. I apologize, Brian.
Sorry po. Sorry ma'am, disconnect lang din po.
Go ahead. So Brian, go ahead.
Thank you. Magandang hapon po. Ang nakausap ko naman po kahapon ay si Attorney Dino De Leon, legal counsel ni na Jed at ni Jonila, and Ang kanyang ginigiit naman ay itong dalawang ito ay walang chosen legal counsel. The keyword is chosen. Can you please clarify this for us? So, kasi ang sabi ni Attorney De Leon is it cannot be admissible. The sworn statements cannot be admissible as evidence. If any, they can be used parao as material for or to prove coercion and abuse on the part of the authorities. Can you please make sense of that?
Let me answer the question. No? Well, we have a statement from the parents na they asked them kung if they want to avail the services of a private counsel, but yun nga they declined the offer, and they affirmed yung kanilang choice to to execute the sinumpaang salaysay under the assistance and guidance of a PAO lawyer.
All right. So does that mean, sir, because you mentioned can, right? If I'm not, kung tama ba kakarinig ko, you used the word can when you said yung about the filing of perjury charges, but is it going to be to be done? Will it push through?
If there is a directive from the higher ups, and if the AFP or the agree of government officials will really push through with the filing of the cases, then we will be ready to assist them in the processes.
Thank you.
Brian, so we're good. Thank you so much. All right. Next question po. Although I would like to recognize before we proceed, Justice Angie Miranda of the Office of Solicitor General also is joining us this afternoon. So next would be Miss Paula Antolin of Filipino Mirror. Go ahead, ma'am. Ma'am Paula, are you there? If wala po, then maybe balikan na lang po natin. We can proceed to Sir Glenn Huego po.
Hi, magandang hapon.
Magandang hapon po. Go ahead.
Yes. Ma'am, sir, tanong ko lang, nakarating na po ito kay Pangulong Marcos or may pag-uusap na po ba between NTF-CAC and kay Pangulong Marcos? And if so, ano po yung naging reaction niya?
May I answer that, Attorney James?
Yes, Yusek.
Please.
Yes, Yusek.
Directly, I wasn't informed really. I'm not so sure if it has reached the president, but I'm quite confident because of the the issue is already brought to the national level. I would probably assume that the president knows about this already, but bilang sagot dun sa tanong mo kung na-discuss na namin to personally, not yet, no? But with the vice chairman, the national security advisor, we were talking about this already.
Yusek, one more follow-up lang. Isa sa tinakbuhan nila ang Commission on Human Rights, no? Taga-gobyerno rin, sir. Do you have a message, sir, sa Commission on Human Rights, sir? Or sa sino man po na tinakbuhan po nitong nung dalawang activist?
Ayun, pareho rin sana yung intention ng security sector natin to secure and protect the children, no matter what the circumstances are, ay may ipagpatuloy din ng Commission on Human Rights.
Salamat, Yusek. Thank you.
Salamat po.
Angel? Nawala yata si Angel. Alright, di bale, to continue, let's recognize, sino lang makita ko, no? Si David Santos, David, and then to be followed by Marlene.
Opo. Sir, quick, yan lang. Basic question lang, pasensya. Kasi we've been using the word hoodwinked, blindsided, we were betrayed. Sir, ang tanong ko lang po is, given the government's vast resources, with all the funds and resources and the capabilities that we have, sir, hindi ho ba embarrassing yun for us una-una to admit na naloko tayo ng dalawang, well, supposedly, kung babasihan natin yung narrative niyo po, no, na naloko tayo, sir. In short, hindi ba natin anticipate that they can do this? Tapos, yun sir, yung bang parang medyo for others, they would say na parang hindi naman kapanipaniwala na kumbaga the government was taken for a ride itong in this particular case po. Thank you.
May I answer that initially, Attorney James?
Sure, yes.
Yeah, David, we invested on trust, no? Yung mga circumstances before their surrender, no? And even now when they surrendered, tapos kaya kausap siya ng mga staff natin as reported to us, we were we were just so happy that another two kabataans have decided to go back to the folds of the law. So we trusted their actions, their words, and I think in general that is how a government should be, no? And us, especially at the NTF-ELCAC, we would like to take your word for it, no? Kung ano yung dinadala mo sa amin. Sabi mo kanina, despite our vast resources, bakit hindi natin na-check kaagad yung possibility na yun? There is always that possibility. Naiisip pa rin natin yan. But we really weighed heavier, no? Dun sa pinapakita nilang galaw nila, nakangiti na sila, pinag-uusapan na kung paano yung way forward nila. I mean, the mayor was there, DSWD, PAO, us, no? Everybody was really supportive of all these efforts, no, that we would like to pour in for their eventual rehabilitation and reintegration back to the mainstream society. We were ready to enroll them dun sa Enhanced Comprehensive Local Integration Program like what we used to do sa mga FRs natin. So, nandun tayo sa point na yon and we trusted their word. That's why it's really unfortunate. Ito po yung naging reaction natin. All of us, even the parents, no? Tingnan mo yung statement ni Mr. Manalastas. He even didn't expect anak niya na yon. He thought that everything will be okay already in the coming days. So that's how it is. That's how it is. We really felt betrayed, no, despite the huge amount of trust that we gave to these two young ladies.
Sir, quick follow-up. So how this specific incident will affect future engagements with potential surrenderies o yung mga bagbabalik loob? Kasi syempre kung may president na in this particular case, so paano sir in future cases po?
Yeah, that's the beauty of the program, David. Kasi ang ating approach ngayon, yung local peace engagement, yung pong mga communities themselves, local chief executives, and even the families, they reach out dun sa ating mga armed rebels pa rin, ano? They are the ones talking to them. So mas mataas yung trust and confidence diyan sa mga negotiations. So these are the different cases out there, no? And it will continue. It will continue. This is just one of those hiccups nga na nangyayari sa programa natin, which is really unfortunate. But the program will still proceed. We will still process anybody at tayo nananawagan sa mga nakikinig sa atin ngayon na hindi po magbabago yung pagtrato natin sa mga natin na gustong manumbalik sa mainstream society, no? The program will be as strong and as effective as it has been for the past several years.
Also, I just want to add very briefly, the mere fact that the government trusted these two ladies, no, notwithstanding the risk of betrayal and notwithstanding the vast resources that the state has, no, as you mentioned, David, just really shows that the NTF-ELCAC and the government are really bent on welcoming. It's really about peace. It's really in line with the state policy under the Constitution and about welcoming our former rebels into the folds of the law.
Thank you po. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. David Santos. Salamat. And of course, thank you, Yusek June Torres and Attorney James. Now, I'd like to recognize Marlene Pajernos.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon po. Morning po from Bombo Radio Philippines. Sir, matanong ko lang po, no? Kagaya po na nabanggit po ninyo kanina na the program will still proceed and hindi po magbabago yung pagtrato po ninyo doon sa mga nagbabalik loob po ng mga miyembro ng mga armed groups. How about po doon sa process natin sa pag-handle po ng mga surrenderies? Particular na po doon sa pagharap sa kanila sa media, sa publiko. Magkakaroon po ba tayo ng konting adjustments, sir, given the latest situation po or recent incident po nitong pagbaliktad nitong dalawang activist po, sir?
Well, definitely no, magkakaroon ng effect 'yan sa ating pagpoproseso sa kanila, especially in making decisions sa presentation sa public, no. Although the trust would still be there, but we just have to learn, of course, from this experience, no, that there is still that possibility na despite the goodwill that you are offering to our fellow men, particularly yung mga members ng mga armed groups pa out there. So despite the goodwill that we are showing to them, minsan namamanipula pa rin nila, no? They are so good at this kind of propaganda. So it is a lessons learned for all of us, no, in the government and the Filipino people to tread more cautiously, no, in undertaking this kind of activities.
When you say po magkakaroon ng konting pagbabago, ano po yung tinutukoy po ninyong pwedeng maging pagbabago po doon sa pagkasa publiko po nitong mga armed surrenderies, sir?
Well, of course, siguro yung pagche-check sa kanilang maigi, mga ganyan. Sometimes sabi nga natin lasting peace is the price of eternal vigilance, hindi ba? Even if sabi natin wala nang mga kalaban, wala nang mga kriminal, no? But that would just continue on when we are eternally vigilant, no, about the way we do things. So it's the same, we will just increase our vigilance, be more discriminating, no, consider everything, no, dig deeper into the personalities of those who are going back to the folds of the law. So ganon, but just the same kasi it has to be a balance between building trust and confidence, and on one hand, and on the other hand naman, you to be very cautious, that things like this would not happen again. So we need to balance that. We cannot go on and on not trusting those who would wish to go back to the folds of the law. It's more of an art, Marlene, but we certainly would learn from this experience.
Thank you po.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marlene. And at this point, we'd like to recognize June. Please identify yourself. June's iPhone lang kasi nakalagay.
Parang akin yata yan. Baka ba't may reaction na ganyan? May napindot yata ako.
Baka sa'yo yan. Baka sa'yo yan, boss.
Siguro, paano ba to? Sorry.
Ay, ibang June.
Well, I believe it's mine.
No. It's June Veneracion. I'm sorry.
Oh my.
Pare, ikaw pala yan.